and welcome to this very special 4-part video series from The Drum and Snap, where we'll be bringing you insights, tips and tricks to maximise performance and immerse in every moment this shopping season. We're on the brink of a global recession, there's a cost of living crisis and consumer confidence is at an all-time low. So as we enter the festive shopping season, shoppers are tightening their purse strings and becoming more cautious and selective about who, how and where they choose to spend their cash. In a season that's traditionally very difficult to break through, 2022 will be even more so, and advertisers need to think outside the box to reach peak performance. I'm Jenny Baker, Assistant Editor at The Drum, and over the next 4 episodes, I'll be chatting to experts from Snap to explore what all of this means for you and how you can multiply performance through immersive experiences in the moments that matter, not just for this shopping season, but beyond. Now, first up, I'm joined by Sam Bevan, who's Director of Business Solutions EMEA at Snap. Hello, Sam.
Hi, well, thanks for having us. And yeah, we are very excited to see where this series takes us.
We touched on some of the kind of macro trends taking place. There's also lots of changes happening in the digital landscape. From your perspective, what are you seeing and how are advertisers having to pivot?
There's no denying the macro conditions that we find ourselves in. The economy is creating challenges for businesses of all shapes and sizes. But on top of that, the digital landscape is continuing to evolve at such a rapid pace. This year, we've seen changes in the way consumption's happening on platforms, the way in which content's being created. But then actually, if you double-click even on digital advertising, the way in which we track and measure advertising has changed, the way in which you create audiences fundamentally changed. And the biggest shift that we are seeing is really operating in this more privacy-centric environment. And this means for advertisers, they are going to have to start to shift into this more server-to-server type integration with platforms like ours through things like the Conversions API.
With everything going on, there's a bit of doom and gloom in the market, but is it an opportunity and should advertisers be embracing this opportunity?
Absolutely. I think with every challenge, there's an opportunity. I'm an optimist at my heart. If you actually just boil back to the basics of how these platforms work, they're an auction-based environment. And so, yes, there are going to be challenging business circumstances, which is going to have to mean businesses pull back on their media buying. However, this creates a huge opportunity for brands that are able to scale, because let's face facts, it's going to be a more competitive, cost-effective way of hitting your core audience. This is where, yes, there are the challenges that are going to face businesses, but the brands that are able to scale, this really is a unique opportunity to go all in and scale at that cost-effective rate.
With the festive shopping season coming up, what are you seeing in terms of consumers? Like, how are their habits changing and what should we be looking out for?
Consumers are changing every single year. I think the biggest that we continue to see is the type of content that they're viewing. Short form video is now just the norm. If you think 5 years ago it didn't exist, it's now the way in which pretty much all content's being consumed. The biggest thing that's changing is the way in which consumers are shopping. That point of reference to checking in with their friends, getting advice from their family is now becoming at the heart of everything they do. And Snapchat is proud to be that #1 platform for getting those insights, for sharing what outfits you're buying, getting advice on that gift you're going to buy for your sister or brother or partner. I think that is becoming really a core part in the shopping experience, is how can you share what you're buying to get advice from your closest peers or kind of look at them for really decisions which used to be hard to gather. I think the other big thing is the way in which consumers are engaging with content online. We are seeing augmented reality really becoming the norm in a lot of places for this audience, where if you look at Snap now, 250 million people are using augmented reality every single day. And of that, 6 out of 10 of them are more likely to make a purchase because they went through an augmented reality experience.
What would your advice be for advertisers then to maximise performance this shopping season?
Yeah, I think for this, it's going back to some of the basics. You now need to make sure that you're set up for success with things, like I said, the Conversions API is going to be at the heart of the way in which you now track, measure, and create audiences. So getting back to basics and making sure that you're set up in the new form of buying media. I think the other part, which is really important to think about, is your audiences. making sure that you're capitalizing on fast-growing audiences that are hard to find on other platforms. For instance, on Snap now, we have over 347 million users on our platform every single day. And a lot of those you won't actually find on other platforms. So really making sure that you're capitalizing on hard-to-find audiences, scaling cost-effective rates.
How can advertisers start testing today?
I think test and learning is having to really make sure that you're at a point when you come to the Christmas seasons, you know how to scale. So I think testing has to start today. And when we talk about how to do that, it's really making sure that you're looking at the trends in which media buying is going. So have you got the conversions API integrated onto your platform? Do you understand where your audience is spending their time? And then that final component is new formats. Are you testing the way in which your audience is engaging with it? So where would augmented reality sit in your marketing funnel? Where does video sit? And really leaning in, testing all the formats that brands have to their dispense now with these platforms.
Well, that's great advice there, Sam. Any final words before we wrap up?
No, I think, like I said, back to basics. You need to get there, making sure you wow where your audience is. And then the final thing I always say is innovate, innovate, innovate. I think we're entering this period in which, yes, challenging macro conditions, but it's going to be a huge opportunity for businesses to win and to scale if they're leaning into our platforms and testing all of these new great solutions. And it starts with augmented reality right the way through to the conversions API, but I think innovation has to come at the heart now.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Sam, for those great insights, and you've teed us up quite nicely. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll be delving a little bit deeper into reaching these unique audiences and how to use AR to differentiate your strategy this shopping season. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you soon.